Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jose from Florida Vision Technology again. And today we're going to be talking about a new phone on the market designed for people who are visually impaired. But before we do that, do me a favor, go ahead, like, subscribe, and share this content. As always, we greatly appreciate it. Now, a lot of times I get phone calls at my office asking me, is there a phone out there made specifically for someone who's visually impaired? And I used to have to tell them, not really, right? But until recently, there's a new phone on the market called a RealSam Pocket, and it's designed by a company called RealThing AI. And today I have my friend Anat from RealThing AI with me, and she's going to talk about the device. Anat, how are you?
I'm doing well, Jose. Good to be talking to you.
Good to be talking to you as always as well. So Anat, tell me a little bit about yourself before we jump into the demonstration of the product.
Sure. So my name is Anat Nulman. I have been working in assistive technology close to 10 years, and I have been with RealThing AI for about a year and a half. I love assistive technology. I love helping customers, and I love finding opportunities to collaborate with others in the field.
Very cool. And RealSam Pocket, what is that?
RealSam Pocket is a revolutionary smartphone. So RealSam Pocket has been designed to address a need that hasn't been addressed until recently, and it's inaccessibility of commercially available phones. For many users, those phones are fantastic, but for other users, they're just too complicated to use. Like Jose said, it's difficult to find apps. It's not always easy to use all the accessibility gestures. So RealSam Pocket is a voice-operated smartphone that doesn't have any visual clutter, and you interact with it by voice.
For people who can't see, can you kind of like give like a physical orientation of the device?
Absolutely. So I'm going to hold the phone in my hand.
Device unplugged.
So
battery at 24%.
So for those of you who can see, I'm going to show it on the screen, but for those of you who can't, I will explain it. So this is a Samsung Galaxy phone with our software on it. So what is on the screen is actually very little. There is a large tap to talk button that it takes about 20% at the bottom of the screen. And there is a menu that you can expand in the top left corner. And there is nothing else. There is some visual graphical elements. There is a sound wave and our logo, but those are the only two things you can interact with. In order to use the phone, a user would need to tap on this large tap to talk button that's located at the bottom of the screen and tell the phone what they want the phone to do, and that's it.
And what can the phone do?
So the phone has 3 sets of functionality. It is a closed system, which means our users are not able to download any apps because most of the apps are developed for visual interface. So we need to make sure that all the functionality we have available is actually accessible by voice. So the 3 sets of functionality include communications, which is the ability to make and receive phone calls, ability to send and receive text messages by voice, and ability to add context by voice, which I know is one of the pain points in the community. We also have tools, utilities and informational tools such as time, weather, where am I, what's around me, smart reminders, outdoor locations. And we have 4 tools that are specific tools for people who are visually impaired. So those are blindness support tools. Those include Be My Eyes, which is a third-party service that allows you to call a sighted volunteer that can use your camera and see through it and help you find things or do things. We have ability to read text, OCR, including handwriting, and that's very exciting because there are very few devices and apps out there that can do it, and even fewer that can do it well. We have digital magnifier with different color contrasting options, object recognition. And then the last set of features is basically content. It includes access to 4 different book libraries, a newspaper, different podcasts, and radio stations.
So on the phone itself, though, like, are there any physical buttons? Is it all touch screen or?
The phone itself is a touch screen. There are 3 physical buttons on the right side of the phone, which include basically volume up, volume down, and the side button. But there are no other physical phones. Mainstream manufacturers really don't manufacture phones anymore with physical buttons. So the entire industry has moved to touchscreen. So we've embraced that, but we still made it easy for users to use, so they don't have to fiddle and try to find little things to tap on. We have just large virtual button at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, and so for those of you who are watching this right now or listening to this at home, you're probably a little intimidated when you hear that phones don't have physical buttons on the front of it. But I'm telling you, like, this phone is super easy to use. So all you do is just tap the bottom center of the phone and say your command. So let's see how that works.
So I have a contact here that's called my cell phone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap at this large tap to talk button and say, call my cell phone.
Calling my cell phone. Press the side button to cancel.
Okay, so what's happening, and I'm holding in my second hand my personal cell phone, which is ringing right now. What you see on the RealSam Pocket screen is a very large dial pad that is talking. So you can put your finger on it and it will tell you what's under your finger. So on the top, I have my contact name.
My cell phone.
Then I have my phone number.
4083107903.
And then if I need to enter an extension number, and it went to my voicemail, so let's.
Please try again later. Goodbye.
Okay, so
The call was ended.
I didn't want to talk over my voice message announcement, but basically what happens on the screen is you have a large color contrasting dial pad, and you can move your finger around. It will tell you on the top the contact's name. If the contact is not stored, it will tell you it's unknown. Then you'll have a phone number, and then you have the actual dial pad. So if you need to enter an extension number, you navigate with your finger to whatever digit you're trying to select, and then you simply lift up your finger. So no tapping, no double tapping. Once you hear the digit, you lift up your finger. And if it's multiple digits, you just do one at a time. And to hang up a call, you press on a very large hang up button that's located at exactly the same place where tap to talk is in other functions.
When I do a lot of iPhone training, people always ask me, can I use Siri to add a contact to my phone? And sadly, you can't. But from what I understand with the RealSam Pocket, we can now use our voice to add contacts. If I give you my mobile, can we see how that works?
Absolutely. Give me the number and I will write it down.
All right, it's going to be 954 993 7323.
So we're going to do that. So again, I'm going to tap on the tap to talk button, and I can say add contact Jose 954 blah blah blah, or I can do it step by step, which is how a lot of our customers will do it, and the phone will guide me. It will tell me what I need to do. So I'm going to use the second option so you can hear how the phone can guide a user in case the user can't remember what they need to do. So I'm going to tap and say add contact.
Please say the name or number, or both, for the contact, or say go back.
Jose.
Please say the number for the contact, or say go back.
And I have to tap anytime I'm ready to talk. So before I talk, I have to tap. So otherwise the phone will not listen to me. 954 993 7323.
Contact saved. Contact name.
Jose.
Number.
9549-9373-23.
You can call, text, change name or number, delete, or say finish to continue.
Finish.
Okay.
So now Jose's number is stored in my device. Before I call Jose, I just want to point a couple things. So one, the phone guided me through the process and told me all the steps that I can do and all the words that I can say. When it was repeating Jose's name and a phone number, it was a different voice, and we do this on purpose. This is called auditory contrast. So we do that so people can pay attention, and if the phone did not hear them correctly, they have an opportunity to correct the contact right away on the spot. So now, Jose, I'm going to give you a call. So I'm going to tap again and say, call Jose.
Calling Jose. Press the side button to cancel.
How cool is that?
Is it ringing on your phone, Jose?
My phone's actually on do not disturb right now, so you might get my voicemail.
Okay. So I'm going to hang up by just touching the red button at the bottom of the screen and lifting up my finger.
Very cool. And as you guys heard, we can make phone calls. We could send a text message. You want to check that out and see what it's like to send a text message?
Sure. So let's send you a message, okay? And then with messages again, I can say, send a message and then the phone will guide me. Or I can say, send a message to Jose. Hi, Jose, period. It was so great talking to you today, exclamation mark.
Your text message to Jose says, hi, Jose. It was so great talking to you today. Would you like to send it?
I'm going to tap again and say, yes.
Message sent.
Wow.
That's easy.
Yeah, that's so cool. I mean, the fact that you could control everything with your voice and the phone takes you through it step by step by step. I mean, in my opinion, that's a big game changer. So earlier you were talking about how it has some other features, maybe for someone who's low vision. Can you go into a little more about that?
Absolutely. So we do have 4 specific blindness support features that include Be My Eyes, Magnifier, OCR, which is ability to read text, and object recognition. So Be My Eyes can help both people who are totally blind as well as those who are low vision. And to use Be My Eyes, the first time you use the phone, you will tap and you'll say Be My Eyes, and it will take you through a registration process. And that is very, very simple. It will say 1 to hear the terms and conditions of Be My Eyes, say 2 to hear terms and conditions of RealSam, say 3 to hear privacy settings, say 4 to accept everything. So once you accept everything, your account will be created. You may have to wait a little bit. And then next time when you want to talk to Be My Eyes, you will simply tap and you'll say, Be My Eyes. And the phone will call the first available volunteer.
Be My Eyes.
That's
Please.
so cool.
I'm going to hang up before they answer because I don't really.
First available volunteer. To cancel, press the hang up button at the bottom of the screen.
Okay, so I'm going to hang up before the answers so we don't take
Call
their
finished.
times.
Returning to RealSam.
But it's really as simple as that.
Yeah,
Now,
when I first actually set that up on my phone, I thought it was going to be like a hard task to do, and I mean it was super simple. Like Anat said, you tap the bottom, you say Be My Eyes, and then 1 for terms of service, 2 to agree, and you just go through all these prompts with your voice, and it's set up literally within like a minute. It's super easy to do.
Right. The other 3 features live in Magnifier, and those features have a little bit of a different user experience than most of other features. You get there by voice, but once the magnifier is open, you have to use your finger to navigate the screen, and there will be a few buttons that will be talking buttons. And once we get to the screen, I will explain. So to use either OCR or Magnifier or object recognition, you will tap on the screen on this large tap to talk button and say, open Magnifier.
Magnifier starting.
Okay, so now what happens on the screen is that what appears on the screen and what the back camera sees. So right now it's pointing at my face, so you'll see my face on the screen. And then on the top, there will be 2 buttons, and they are
turn on flash, exit.
Okay, the flash is located on the top left corner, exit is located on the top right corner. And if I slide my finger all the way down to the bottom right corner,
Zoom out, freeze
is in the middle,
zoom in,
and zoom in is on the left at the bottom. Okay, zoom in and zoom out, you can use the buttons
zoom in,
to zoom in or zoom out,
zoom out,
or you can use a pinching gesture on the screen. So let's take a picture of something. Okay, I wrote down Jose's phone number, and I have a very terrible handwriting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of Jose's phone number.
frozen,
And when I tap freeze, it basically freezes that picture of whatever I'm taking on the screen. It's not storing that image. So once we're done working with it, it's going to be gone. Okay, and the orientation doesn't matter. Right now, it's sideways. So once I've taken a picture, there are two new buttons that appeared on the top. So you have a menu on the left and then actions in the middle. Actions will allow you to
Show actions. Detect text recognition. Detect object.
So me personally, what I've seen is a lot of people who use these type of technologies to read like printed documents or menus or bills or things of that nature. How does it do with that?
Well, with printed documents, it's quite easy. So I'm going to grab here a RealSam Pocket flyer, and I'm going to take a picture of it. Okay, so I'm going to
Limit reach.
position it so I can take a picture of it.
Frozen.
Okay, so I have taken a picture of my flyer that appears right now on the screen, and I'm going to go back to the actions and select text
Show
recognition.
actions. Text sending your request. Images processing. Processing finished. The text in the images are say hello to RealSam Pocket, an easy-to-use voice-operated smartphone designed for people with sight loss. Be connected. Tap the phone and say call James and freeze.
Okay, I unfreezed it. So it
That's
just
so
started
cool.
reading from the top. Yeah, and if you like, I can show you also how object recognition works, because that's also a hard one, and there's not a lot of options, especially on Android devices. So I'm going to take a picture of my iPhone that's kind of laying on my keyboard of my laptop. Okay.
Frozen.
So right now I have my iPhone kind of laying on the keyboard, and instead of selecting text, I'm going to select under actions, object recognition.
Show actions. Detect sending your request. Images processing. Processing finished. The
So
objects in the image are mobile phone, electronics, computer keyboard, computer, hardware, keyboard, computer hardware, laptop, PC.
Nice. Nice.
So it gave you quite a bit of information, but you could be assured that there's some kind of phone and some kind of keyboard or a laptop or a computer.
Yeah, that's super cool. So like what would someone use like the object recognition? Like people who've called you and spoken to you about the RealSam Pocket phone, like what are they using that particular feature for?
So object recognition is helpful when you're trying to find things on your desk. You know you have a phone, but you can't. So you can point your RealSam Pocket like different parts of your desk, and will tell you what's there. Sometimes you walk into the room and you don't know where the table is with the chairs, right? You go to a meeting, there is a conference room. So it doesn't tell you where it is, but if you remember which direction you point your phone to, you can kind of figure that out.
Very cool.
Other people drop things on the floor, so you can point it to the floor, and hopefully, if it says nothing, then you can point your phone to a different section of the floor and help you find things this way. Or you can use Be My Eyes for kind of the same things. So we give options to our users. Another thing that we have here, and you asked me specifically for people who have low vision, is a digital magnifier that has different color contrasting options. So the button that's on the top left corner is called menu.
Show menu.
Under menu, I'm going to move my finger around it so you can hear the options that we have.
Contrast up, contrast down, brightness up, brightness down, gray, reverse, blue, yellow, yellow, blue.
So for example, I selected yellow, blue, and there's a few other options, right? So now the color on my screen changed to yellow, blue. I can use the buttons at the bottom to make it bigger or smaller.
The object, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in.
Right.
The objects in the
or
image.
I can use a kind of a pinching finger to make it bigger or small.
Reached.
And then I'm going to exit.
The objects in the image are mobile phone.
It's very common to get phone calls about having trouble seeing the phone screen. The buttons on that screen, are they large? Are they small?
So the buttons on the magnifier are relatively small, because what happens with the magnifier, whatever you're taking picture of appears on the magnifier. So we don't want to obstruct that, especially for those who have some visible sight. But the good thing is they're always in the same place, and they're always either on the top or the bottom, and they're speaking. So you can move your finger on the screen on the top, and then drag your finger down and move your finger at the bottom, and easily figure out what they are.
Very cool. And who do you think would be like a good candidate for this type of device? Like, who's calling you asking about RealSam Pocket?
So, as you know, Jose, RealSam Pocket is relatively new to the US. We started selling it just in May of this year, but we have been selling it for close to 5 years in the UK. So what we know from UK and what we're seeing already in the US is that most of the phone users are the elderly who really want a simple phone. Many of them have a degree of visual impairment ranging from, high functioning, low vision to totally blind. But we're also seeing users who may have either intellectual, cognitive, or memory issues that find this phone useful, whether they have visual impairment or not, because it provides constant guidance. So people don't have to rely on the memory and remember how to perform certain actions.
Nice, nice. And one of the things when we were talking a couple of weeks ago, you were showing me how like a friend or a family member, they can log into a portal and add numbers to the phone. That way someone doesn't have to actually input the numbers themselves. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So with every phone, we create an automatic login to customer portal, which is available on our website. And I can show it on my screen in a minute once I'm done explaining. And you don't have to even remember what is your login name and password is. So you can just tap on the phone and say, what's my portal login?
You can log into the customer portal at portal.realsam.us. You have the following login identity and temporary password, which has 5 digits and is only valid for 1 hour. You may set your own long-term password on the portal. The identity is 32802, and the password is 74418. Say again to hear these again.
I'm going to share my screen really quickly so I can show you what the customer portal experience looks like. So to access customer portal, right, my phone told me the URL is portal.realsam.us. I can always navigate to it from our main website, which is realsam.us, by tapping on resources and navigating to customer portal. I don't remember what it says about the username, but I can just ask it to repeat.
I'm repeating. You can log into the customer portal at portal.realsam.us. You have the following login identity and temporary password, which has 5 digits and is only valid for 1 hour. You may set your own long-term password on the portal. The identity is 32802, and the password is 74418. Say again to hear these again.
Okay, and I'm going to click login. Our portal, by the way, also has accessibility features. So there's a little eye icon that's located on the top, kind of on the right. You can decrease, increase font size, or do grayscale. There are a couple of things you can do, but the primary use case for the customer portal is contact management, which I'm going to click on that tile, which is located on the left. And once I click there, what I'm seeing is the list of my contacts. So all of my contacts that are stored here, I have a list, and I can change or remove a contact. I can really easily add a contact. Our contacts are very simple. It's just a name and a phone number. So if a person has multiple phone numbers, you may want to store them as Anat cell phone, Anat home, Anat office. And a really cool feature is what's called upload contacts. If somebody is porting a large number of contacts from one phone to the RealSam Pocket, or if they have a list of contacts, or they need help, and somebody else wants to enter those contacts for the user, they can upload a file, and that will sync with the phone. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and get back to the RealSam Pocket.
Very cool.
I can tell you, Jose, that our users absolutely love it because sometimes they need help. And the main use case for it is when you have multiple contacts, so you don't have to add them one by one. But also the ability to add contact by voice, that's a big one. Our users really, really
Huge
love that.
one. That's so huge. I mean, if I was to grab my iPhone right now and tell it to add a contact, it's going to tell me you can't do it. So that is huge. That's huge. And a lot of people, it's funny, like when I'm doing training, a lot of people always, that's like the number one thing they want to do with their phone is to add contacts verbally. And now with the RealSam Pocket, you have the ability to do that. We do have some questions in the chat. The first question I'm just going to read out loud here real quick is, what is Be My Eyes? Can you share a little information about that, or?
Absolutely. So Be My Eyes is a third-party service, which is available for free. What happens is that you have volunteers from all over the world, and anybody who's sighted can sign up to be a volunteer. And on our phone, you will tap and you will say, Be My Eyes. So after you've done your registration that we talked about earlier, you can call one of those volunteers, and usually the first available volunteer answers that call. And they are your eyes, basically. You can ask them, can you please look? I dropped something on the floor and I can't find it. Or I need to get a can of beans out of my pantry and I can't find that either. So you would need to point your phone to whatever it is that you're trying to find. They will use the camera in the back to look through. So you would point your camera and they will see what's there, and they will tell you, move your camera, move your hand a little bit to your right. No, that's a can of tomato soup. A little bit more to your right. Here you go. That's a can of beans.
And guys, like Anat said, I mean, that's free, right? So it's visual interpreting for free, and it's 24 hours a day. If you want to find those beans at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 2 o'clock in the morning, you just tell your RealSam Pocket, Be My Eyes, and it connects you to a volunteer that can help you with that.
It's an international company, so they do have volunteers literally available 24 hours a day, like Jose said.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I actually use that myself every now and then. Another question, what's the battery life of the RealSam Pocket?
Well, the battery life is quite long. I can't tell you exactly because it really depends on how much you use it, but this is a regular Samsung device. I know when I go to conferences and I show the phone all day long, I usually have battery left. So I would say at least a day if you use it intensely. And if you don't use it intensely, it could last you for several days to a week. It just depends on how much you use it.
Very cool. And another question is, does RealSam Pocket come with a phone plan, or do you have to use an existing plan?
Great question. So RealSam Pocket does not come with a plan, but it is a completely unlocked device that is compatible with any US network, which means you can pick whatever service plan that fits your needs the best and use that plan with our phone. We believe in, offering choices. So whichever plan you would like to take, it's your choice. Kind of to add to this, there is no additional charges for any of the existing functionality on the phone. So the only other cost other than the cost of the phone is the cost of the mobile plan, which you would have to have with any phone.
So another question in the chat is, earlier you spoke about the device not being able to download third-party applications. Does it have any features for entertainment?
Absolutely. We have 4 different entertainment features. They include access to book libraries, that we have 4. They include Calibre, LibriVox, Project Gutenberg, and Torch Trust. The first 3 are general literature. Torch Trust is just Christian books. We have access to many kinds of different radio stations, many podcasts, including a RealSam collection, which is a collection that we curate. And those are podcasts from the community by blind people for blind people. So as we come up with new podcasts or as we find new podcasts, we add them. And we also have one newspaper that's called The Conversation.
Nice.
And you can search, in the radio, you can search by genre, by station. With books, you can search by the title, by the author, by subject. You can say genre. So there's a lot of flexibility of how you can access that information.
And that's all free, right? Like, do you have to pay for that?
No, you don't have to pay. So like I said earlier, everything we have available at the moment is free. We wanted to have a solution where people don't have to spend any additional money. With some of the libraries, you just have to say, yes, I'm visually impaired or print disabled, and you have access. Other libraries like Project Gutenberg, they're open to everybody. Now, in the future, when we add other functionalities, so for example, some of our customers have been asking us about Audible. Once we add services that require subscription payment, if our users will elect to use those, they will have to pay, but we will never charge any markup. So whatever it costs anywhere else, it will cost in RealSam Pocket.
So Anat, I noticed that you listen to your phone super fast. Are you able to adjust the speech rate, or does it always talk that fast?
Absolutely. And I apologize for that. Sometimes I don't even pay attention. Even though I'm fully sighted, I've been working in the industry for so long and so used to devices speaking to me that sometimes I don't realize how fast they speak. So we can certainly change the rate of speech. You can tap on the screen and say, speak slower.
Okay, this is now my speech speed.
And I can do it multiple times until I get to the comfortable speed. So if this is still too fast, I can say it again, but I have to tap first. Speak slower.
Okay, sweetheart, I'll talk the speed now.
Maybe a
Oh,
little bit.
phone's
Right?
flirting with you, huh?
Speak faster.
What did you say again?
So the phone is actually not flirting with me, but I think I'm flirting with myself. You can customize how the phone refers to you. I can say, call me Anat. I can say, call me Jose, but everybody else calls me Anat. So my phone calls me sweetheart. But if I'm tired of it, I can say, call me darling.
Sure, I will call you darling from now on.
And so going back to the rate of speech, I can say, speak faster.
No problem, darling. I'll talk like this now.
And talking about customization, we can also customize the voice. We have 10 different voices available. The first 5 are American. The other 5 or the next 5 are British, Scottish, and Irish. We had those available so our users can have fun with those. You know, using new technology could be daunting and scary and just something difficult to think about. So we try to make our phone as friendly as possible. Hence, just a little bit of cutesy banter. You know, you can call yourself funny names. I have a friend who called herself Minnie Mouse, and so the phone talks to Minnie Mouse every time the phone talks to her. So just to make it a little bit more approachable and friendly. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, we'll take one more from the chat. So someone's asking about software updates.
So with software updates, like I mentioned earlier, right, this is a closed system. So we provide all the functionality to our users, but we understand that, you know, we will grow as the company and we're also very open to customer feedback. Our customers will ask us to add additional things or maybe change some things. We offering 2 years of free software updates for existing users. So let's say if you get the phone today, we guarantee that you will get updates for at least 2 years starting today. Those updates happen automatically. We'll just push them to the device. And if it's a major update, we will send you a text message by voice, letting you know what has changed and how to access this functionality. But if it's little bug fixes and just little minor things, you probably wouldn't even know. They will be completely seamless. We also list all of our release notes on our website, which is realsam.us under resources section.
So for any of you that would like to get the product, you can visit the realsam.us website, or you can visit Florida Vision Technologies website at floridareading.com, or give us a call at 1-800-981-5119, and we would love to answer any questions you have about the product, help you with purchasing a product. We do offer financing and all that good stuff. Anat, it was a pleasure speaking to you today. I had a lot of fun during this demonstration, seeing what the RealSam Pocket can do. And I really greatly appreciate you joining us.
It was a pleasure, Jose. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you. And with that, guys, we're going to wrap up this video. My name is Jose, that's Anat, and we are signing out.